Why was 6 afraid of 7?
There's only 9.
I'm sure everybody thought that was hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know they.
Yeah, laughing.
They're laughing. Everybody's laughing. Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Friday Night Fights video where the coolest people in the world, I was going to say in North America, then I was going to say on the Western Hemisphere, then I was going to say in, I don't know. Anyway, it's the coolest people in the world. They spend their Friday evenings in this stream playing War of the Visions versus each other. Well, I'm off to a good start. Anyway, it's Friday Night Fights time, and we are doing another Elemental Cup tonight. This is the Kiwi Cup Round 2. Elements that are allowed tonight are Ice, Earth, Water, and Dark. You have a cost limit of 220, so I expect to see maybe some Zazons like we see coming out here for this Sephiroth team. Maybe looking for some charm shenanigans, stuff like that. Either way, we should see some nice little team comps. Here you see Cuckington running a Roth Sephiroth Zazon. Now with Zazon, you can have him come out here and try to like do some damage, brawl it up with the boys, or he could be sort of a charm bot. You throw his charm on there, basically nothing else. See if he can go steal a fight for you with a charm. We'll get to see. Now, they're up against an ice team. Mono element teams are allowed this week, and so you're seeing essentially Dark versus Ice right here, with Zazon being the wild card. Now, he's going to give the HP absorb buff to his group. That's a nice little play, and Sephiroth will open up with a Hell's Gate for 5,700 damage, a nice chunk onto Grifford, but I do expect to see a lot of these powerful axe units tonight. A2 comes in, a top of the meta unit. A2 just says, we are not going to see Zazon shenanigans in this fight. She deletes him, and Sinji's Ice team is off to a fantastic start. I wonder if both players starting on this like bottom side of the map was something that this Dark team counted on. It feels like maybe they didn't, and I don't know who that Curata was just for. Like Valet just walked out there and dropped a Curata. I'm not sure who that hit, or maybe we have like a DC or something. Either way, this Ice team is way out in front, and Grifford is gonna look to clean it up with his next attack. Sephiroth's still pretty healthy, and Roth still at like 85% of her HP, so we're gonna get a Sleep Reaver coming in. It does put Sephiroth to sleep. Now, he's not the next person to go, and in fact, he might have died before it was his turn again, because you have A2 coming up. But if in case something works out where A2 just like kills Roth, Sephiroth being asleep could cost Cuckington the match. We'll have to find out. It's Roth's turn next, 13.5k HP left. Really contemplating her actions here, right? I'm expecting to see something like a limit break or a summon, just with how much delay there has been. She's gonna step aside, and there it is. It's gonna be the limit break. So with these, with these auto fights, the game, if you didn't know this, maybe you're a new player, the game calculates kind of what happens beforehand. So when you see these delays in these matches when you're watching them, oftentimes that means you're getting a limit break or a summon, some kind of cutscene playing, and that's what we just saw right there. Now Sephiroth's dead. It's a 1v3 at this point. Look, I think Roth's a really good character. She's a really strong tank. She's obviously really hard to kill as she's the only one left alive, but she's not going to pull that off, and I think that's going to do it. Sinji's going to win that first fight and move ahead in the winner's bracket. So GG Sinji, that's going to be our first win of the night, and let's throw the bracket up here on the screen. So here you can see that fight we just watched was that was Cuckington versus Sinjiro. So Sinjiro come up here. It is a double elimination tournament, and you can see we only had 15 players show up for this week. Again, it's a pretty hype week in some other games, and I put off last week's tournament, so we're kind of picking the steam back up here. Still, we'll get a lot of matches on stream today, and should be a really fun night. Let's go on to our next game. All right, we're loading into Adol versus Shubak, our second match of the day, and this one is just getting underway. We're going to see a strike team versus an axe team. So two weapon-based job teams right here. Etra versus, okay, there we go. Our first really kind of like hype moment of the day is Etra evading a slashing attack right there from Halloween Lucio, who is by far and away the most OP character on that Axe team. He's being backed up by a Durando. We don't see much Durando. And then there's a Quicken coming out from Lemure. So Durando is going to be the on the receiving end of a Quicken. He surge strikes Etra, but she's hanging in there. Can our, free to acquire little red-headed devil get in here and do some damage? Well, a little bit. She's she's more of a evasion tank, I suppose, and she didn't evade or tank that one very well, so she's dead. But Etra, we'll say Etra carried her weight in getting several attacks from the enemy out. And now it's the Perrine and Ketone show. These are definitely the premium units on this strike team. And you can see Perrine doing a ton of damage. There's going to be another Quicken coming out onto the Durando, so he's going to get another turn. But with only 11 AP, he eats a preemptive counter and Surge strikes back for about 2.5k. Not a ton there. And let's see what Ketone can do. 11.1k. She steps forward. Will Breaker comes out. It's a double kill. So Durando and Lemure are down, but Halloween Lucio is still alive and full HP. Vacuum Slash comes out, decent damage across the team, but Perrine has AP restore. She's at 104 AP. She's going to Subjugating Fist. It'll get absorbed by the shield, but I have a feeling Halloween Lucio's going to have some AP problems. Guard Reaver comes out, his shield is down. He does dodge the follow-up attack. With only 28 AP left, he needs to put in a lot of work with this next attack. He puts in a little bit of work with it, but he's going to need some more dodges coming out. Okay, here's Perrine. She's got 90 AP and it's still ticking up. She's thinking, Shoebox looking for that win. Subjugating Fist does kill Halloween Lucio, and the strike team takes down the axe team in our first like purely weapon-based matchup of the day. So GG, we're gonna give that win to Etra. We'll say that Etra hard carried that one, and yeah, we'll move on with our lives with that kind of understanding. Anyhow, let's go on. So here's the bracket evolving. Let's go find another match and jump into it. Okay, for our third match of the stream, we have Devil Boy running up against numero 80. Now we're going to get to see Vivi coming out from Devil Boy, and then a cost limited regular in Valade. Now Valade brings a lot of utility to his team. He brings some healing. I don't know that I've ever been like 100% convinced that Valade is the way to go in cost limited, but a lot of these players are better players than me and have more tournament experience than me, and they really do believe in him. So we'll see what he could do here. Ice is very powerful in the elemental rotation today with access, to your axe units. You have Winter Ravis with A2. That's a great sword combo right there. And A2, again, one of those top of the meta units. If you can kind of just complement her with a Winter Ravis to do a little damage and Valade to support her, I think you'll see some good things there. Meanwhile, Devil Boy, he's going double mages. Halloween Lucia has been a cost limited star since she came out, right? I think she was kind of the first 70 cost unit we ever got that we all kind of looked at each other and were like, 70 cost, huh? Yeah, that was 120 cost damage, and she turned my whole team into frogs. But 70 cost, okay, good work over there, cost makers on the other side. So we'll see what she could do here. Winter Ravis also at that 70 cost can carry her own weight. She hits. I would put her at maybe like an a real cost of 80, something like that. So we'll see what she could do against Lucia. We have Vivi coming out here. He's going to be the premium character on this Dart team, but without Helena to run with him, I wonder what he'll be able to do. The positioning here is also really interesting with him hanging that far back. I wonder if he'll be able to get in range to be effective. You see the physical shield come out right there for A2. That's not going to do any work for her against this Dark Mage team. So that is a bit of an advantage for the Dark team. Valade has just been buffing. He's going to move forward, start channeling another one. It's going to be the fast cast. The haste and the unit resist right there is much more important than the activation time down. So that's a nice little buff from Valade, and he's doing his things. There's the courage buff coming out from Winter Ravis. Vivi's going to look to do another round of buffing as he moves forward. Halloween Lucia, are we going to get to start seeing some damage come through? Maybe. Yeah, she steps forward. It's going to be the limit break. So Arcane Assimilation, it's going to be the big pumpkin right here. So put him in a pumpkin ball, cut the pumpkin ball down. There's actually no pumpkin, but whatever. The Arcane Shot follow-up does not kill. Now that was an opportunity right there. Arcane Shot is a wonderful courage killer, so it not getting a chance to pop the courage right there is a nice thing for this ice team, and we'll see if they can take advantage of it. Here comes A2, Rind and Min, so we're gonna get the heal on the back end of that. Ravi's back up near about 60% HP, and Leela down to about that same number. So equally traded blows so far. There's our first reflex of the tournament. A2's gonna reflex that taunting spell. It's not the biggest deal. Double Darkra comes out. That's a 100% hit move. And both greatsword users for the ice team are hovering at 50% HP or less. Winter Ravis up next. She's at 4,000 health, 117 AP. What's she gonna look to do here? She's got everybody to pick from with a little bit of a delay. I'm guessing we get a limit break, and that's what it's going to be. So Holy Night hijinks come out. You throw Halloween at me, I'm going to throw Christmas back at you. We all know which one of those holidays is better, and it played out that way. Frostbite on the whole team, setting up the Wombo chain combo right there from A2 that pops Vivi's re-raise, kills Leela, and now Valade's in a situation where if he could get a clutch heal in here, there it is, there's the Cura. It's looking pretty one-sided for Ice. Okay, Lucia could turn everybody into a frog and change things. Let's see what she's got up her sleeve right here. 68 AP, 399 health. That's cutting it close, Lucia. And guess who's next? That haste from Valade will allow A2 another turn before Vivi. And then A2 is just showing up today, man. There's that reflex on this spell from Halloween Lucia, and any chance that the Dart team had probably went away with that reflex. You can see how dangerous Halloween Lucia is. She walked up there and nearly took out the squad, but A2 just flexing that power. And now Winter Ravis will get a chance to just execute her. Could just go for the auto attack. Only needs to do about 400 damage. We'll see what she goes for right here. Oftentimes these very last moves in a match are delayed for some reason. I don't know why, but you have to assume this is Winter Ravis walking up to Lucia, cutting that witch hat in half down the middle with her gigantic ice greatsword. There it is, 2,000 damage. That's more than enough. And GG numero 80 will pick up that win. Ice looking good so far in this limited element format. Okay, let's go to our next fight. All right, here we go. For our next match, we're going to jump down into the losers bracket for a moment. We're going to watch Sir McCrane versus Nico. We're going to see if Zazan could do some shenanigans. Now, both of these players have already taken one loss. This is a double elimination tournament. So a loss here for either player will boot them out, and it is spear on spear action. We are going to get to see young King Elda right here, one of my favorite current units in the game. He absolutely carries my alt account. This dude can do some work, and we're going to get to see him playing against himself. Now, he's paired up with, for Sir McCrane, a regular Glassy who's going to give herself a haste buff, and he's paired up with a Summer Glassy for Nico. So in a way, it's like a mirror matchup, but one of them is a unit from 2020, and the other one's a unit from like 2022 or something like that. Yeah, 2022, 2023. I don't know. One of them's new, one of them's kind of old. It is what it is. We'll see how they do. I'm gonna put my desk down just a touch because we're getting a little green screen bleeding going on there. There we go. That's better. Okay, Fortress of the Line coming out. Young King Elda is going to be the big premium unit for both of these teams in these fights. But Glassy, I'm telling you, if there is a unit that there's several units in this game. I'm going to describe a unit in this game, and I'm actually going to describe several that do what Glassy does. When she gets a little boost, she kind of returns to relevance. She's a cheap unit to use in terms of cost, and she can jump in there and do some good damage. I also want to see if that'll happen and if Zazan is going to do anything this fight. He's going to evasion buff himself. Maybe he's going to look to try and dodge some stuff. Here comes Glassy, probably moving in and jumping. No, it's Surefire Burst, so it's 100% hit move. So she does bring that. Zazan tanked that pretty well. He's kind of a thick boy. Binding Javelin comes out. That's going to do decent damage to Glassy, and then the tank's going to follow it up. So Nico's team is very much grouped. Let's see if Sir McCrane's team can take advantage of that for some like wombo combo damage, as Nico's tank will bring out the limit break right here. Big water tornado, cut it in half, 2125 damage, AoE resist buff, and it's just going to be the Sentinel from Elda. So unable to take advantage of the grouping and get a big AoE attack off. Curata comes out onto Glassy. She's got 45 AP, Surefire Burst, AoE, so there's that like piercing AoE attack damage, but even Zazan with that chaining on him is still alive. Elda's gonna go Lion's Drain. Man, that was tanked very well by this water team. And now McCrane's Elda gets to fight. He steps forward, Armor Piercer comes out. That will kill Zazan. That is a vision card ability right there. You don't see that all the time, but it's an armor debuff. There's a poke from Glassy as she was out of AP, so she had to go with the auto attack. This is two pretty thick teams struggling to do a ton of damage to each other. Kira comes out. Oh my gosh, it is a full HP team over here from Sir McCrane, but both of the big players for Nico are still alive. Ebb and Flow Barrier comes out. There's a one-time physical shield. She'll get full full use out of that. And now let's see what young King Elda could do. He's going to go AP break lance. That will kill Valade, evening it up at 2-2. And it's the UR units versus the UR units. There's triple piercer from Glassy. It is completely blocked by the shield from Elda, but McCrane's going to go back to back. This is going to be massive amounts of chaining right here. Spear throw of undoing. It removes courage and it doesn't quite kill her. However, she's only at 3 AP, so the best she can do is move in, auto attack, and almost kills herself with the counter attack from Elda. There's a nice bit of damage. This is really close. Okay, so Sir McCrane, Glassy is going to kill the tank. Now it's Elda looking to try and kill his mirror match right here. He's got 5,600 HP. He's going to heal himself for 1,300, but 50 AP left on Nico's Elda. Can he hit them both? If he can, maybe look for a drain attack for himself. He doesn't have to worry about like randomly AoEing one of his teammates now. So maybe he can find the AoE damage as well. He's going to go with the limit break instead. So if we have to fall afoul of the gods, then so be it, or whatever it's called. There's the damage. He kills Glassy, and then he gives himself the CT up attack and accuracy buff. Now the CT up does not allow him to lap, and so therefore the same move we just saw, he's going to get it right back in his face, and it does not quite kill him. So here you go. You have 336 AP and an auto attack. You need to like dodge this or something, because it's bad news for you there, Nico. Let's see. McCrane, his Elda's like, well, line it up, 3894, re-raise. Okay, so re-raise comes through, but he gets lapped. There it is. The lap comes in. So all that CT manipulation ends up in this scenario right here. 44 AP is more than enough, I think, to deliver a killing shot here. 6 turns left. The opponent would have got one more turn, but I think we're about to see the death blow. Cleansing Spear, 5305. That's it. And Sir McCrane wins what was a very, very close fight. And young King Elda, I'm telling you, man, that guy could do some work. And he showed up there in a big way and put in some damage, some tankiness. GG, Sir McCrane lives to fight another day. And Nico, well, thank you for playing, Nico. Have a good Friday. Get it? Because it's Good Friday. Great joke. Okay, next fight. Okay, for our next match, we will once again see a Ketone versus a Valade. I mean, Valade continuing to just be all over the place in this tournament. Cost limited monster right there. We'll see how he does here. And then New Ketone. I mean, again, I like this unit a lot. New Ketone as a strike unit. Probably a strike team here from LXD versus an ice team from McCrane. Those two squads have kind of dominated this tournament. And I do wonder, we have a little bit lower turnout this week than normal. Some of that is my fault for just not knowing if I was going to be available tonight. In fact, I ended up cutting it pretty close. But some of that might be the elemental restrictions. I've found on tournaments, especially like live ones where you only have a week to get ready. Ooh, a Bronwell? All right, Bronwell, I see you. A lot of times, the more restrictions you put on, it kind of pushes some players out, especially newer players or players that aren't really experienced tournament players. So I wonder if that's not kind of making the difference. Okay, so here's Sir McCrane's team. This is the team we just saw win. It's Glassy, Young King Elda, Valade. So we kind of know what this squad does. Let's see how it fares against Bronwell, Ketone, and Lemure. Expect to see a lot of haste, right? Lemure is going to want her squad to group up around her, which they've already done. Then she'll want to apply an AoE haste to them. So at least the Glassy won't have that like massive speed advantage over the whole team that she kind of found last time. Okay, here's Valade. He's going to look to do his buffing. He's got tons of buffs in his kit, including the fast cast, which helped a lot last time. There's ice vitalization, a little accuracy protect buff. That protect going to be effective against all of the damage there from the dark team. I kind of want to see what Bronwell's going to do. Bronwell, again, a cost limited unit, but not in that sort of like same tier as other dark cost limited units like Halloween Lucia, but I hope she puts on a good show today. Here's Siphonic Stance, so a little HP absorb. Bronwell's turn next. She's at 67 AP. She's got the haste. What kind of buff is she going to bring? She's going to go bells, so just give herself that bells, get in there, regenerate some AP, and look to put out big damage. Okay, Lemure steps forward. Young King Elda probably going to look to, I don't know if he has his, well, he's given himself his AP restore, so now he'll just go Fortress of the Lion, get that physical shield online. That'll also help. And there's the quicken. So Bronwell going to be sent forward to the wolves. The nun looking to put in some work. Do it, Bronwell. Put some damage across the board. We might get to see the limit break right here. Let's see. She's thinking about it. She's lining it up. She steps forward. It's the limit break. Crystal Judgment. So she's from the church, but she's like a true member of the church. And she goes like Great Sword Kamehameha, 973 damage. Glassy. Okay. Now look, some of you might not have played back in the day, but I believe I remember there being Glassy builds back in the day where she could build slash resistance to a point where she was very, very hard to hit with slashing damage. She has protect. She might be stacking slash resist, and that might have just given her a massive edge in that Bronwell limit break. Despite Bronwell, I think, running a sword with slash attack pin on it, she might need some more, or that Glassy's just a super tank. Anyway, let's see what Catone can do. Shattered Illusion. So another limit break being thrown at regular Glassy. This one will do 2,000 damage and then 2,500 damage with the follow-up attack for another 2,500. So that is a ton. Righteous Reaver comes in next, and there's Bronwell putting on a little bit of a show. She ends up lapping Glassy with the help from Catone, and that's a kill. So first blood goes to the dark team, but young King Eldo looking to strike back. 8,700 damage on the Bronwell with the CT up from his limit break right there. Procking Vlade going to continue. Well, man, I don't know. Maybe Vlade will look to flex his muscles and do some damage. Nope, he's going to go full life on the Glassy. He was in range for it. That's a big deal. So Glassy back in the fight, but the entire dark team is next. There's Kuraga coming out right here. So basically we have two nearly full HP teams despite Glassy dying once. But let's see if the dark team that's going to get Catone, it's going to go Catone, Elda, Bronwell. Let's see if they can take advantage of this speed. There's going to be the stun blade. It does not kill Glassy, but the follow-up attack does. Catone's follow-up attack hits like a truck. Glassy dead again, but Elda's still untouched thanks to his shield and Glassy coming back to life. He takes out Bronwell with the big AoE attack right there, and now it's Catone's turn again. She's in a bit of a 2v1 with Lemure kind of hanging out back there. Drain Rush comes in. She's going to look to heal herself. She does heal herself very effectively, putting King Elda down to about half HP, but Vlade can look to heal him back up. Here's Kurata. King Elda goes back to full health. Okay, so we've got a support and a DPS left for both teams, and so far it's kind of working out. Here's Ray's regular life, it misses. So a little RNG bad luck right there for the Bronwell, and Catone has run herself out of AP. She has enough for a stun blade, but now she's at actually the number 0, and Elda has a healer behind him and 60 AP to play with. His little self buff where he gave himself the AP regeneration looking to pay dividends as he heals himself right there. That's useful, and now it's Vlade's turn. I don't know if Elda's low enough that Vlade will look to heal him, so he's just going to buff. Little ice vitalization. Protect is going to be useful against this squad. Lemure could look to do some healing of her own, but with the way health is standing right now and where turn order is, it's an uphill climb for this dark squad. Kuraga takes Catone back above half HP. Is she in range? I can't see with that statue. Can she scoot up there and punch Elda once? I don't know that she can. So she's just going to have to go with her self buff. Now it does give her a shield, which maybe opens the door for her to do something. The path to victory for her might be kill Vlade, have two people left at the end of the fight, and win on turns. But Vlade's going to try to do something about that. Nope, he's just going to buff himself in Mont. Okay, what's Lemure going to do? Probably look for a heal right here. And okay, the heal needs to come through before it's Elda's turn. There's Kuraga. It does hit for 4,500, but it's Elda's turn next. He's out of AP, so he's not going to be able to kill her with just an auto attack, I don't think. He steps forward, pokes her for 2,400. Catone, you need to bring pain right now. Your team still has a chance, but you have to do a bunch of damage with this next attack. 10 turns left. There he goes. Upsurge. Boom. That's big damage. That was big damage, but Vlade's going to look to heal that. She could not one-shot him, which is a problem. He's going to go Cura. It heals both of them. It's Lemure's turn next. Can she get another big heal off and open the door for Catone again? Vlade's up next. He's going to look. I don't know if anybody's low enough for him to heal. So his AI might betray him right here and kind of continue to leave the door open for the dark team. He's just going to keep buffing. So, man, he's a buff machine. It's Catone's turn. She's out of AP. Lemure's channeling his spell. It's going to come to turns. So LA, I believe it's going to come to turns unless King Elda can just put a beat down on with his next attack. Catone's going to summon. Okay, that throws a little bit of a curveball in here. What kind of damage can Odin bring? Here we go. Jumping up into the sky. Moon at your back. It's decent damage, but it's not enough. Guard Hasteja comes out. Does she lap anybody because of the haste? She does. She gets another turn. Okay, you have to go kill somebody with your punch right here, or you have to do enough damage that your team wins on turns. You get counterattacked and there's a heal involved. Oh my god, that's like the worst case scenario. Lemire, do you get your spell off before turns are over? No. Valade, this is the last action right here. So who wins? Who made the room? Player 1. Player 2 wins. Okay, player 2 wins. Who the heck was player 2 in that matchup? I don't even know. Is player 2 the red player? Is player 2 the blue player? Did Lemire win? Did Elda win? I think LXD took the loss, which means if we go look at the bracket, Sir McCrane wins and will face Dervis in loser's bracket round 4. That was close, you could say. In fact, yep. Oh boy. G to the G. All right, let's go fight our next fight. Okay, a little bit of technical difficulties getting into our next match, but it is live. We've got Sir McCrane versus Dervis. Sir McCrane, again, running that King Elda Glassy team with the buffest buffer in War of the Visions Valade. This time versus an Ice team. It's A2 and Ice Howlet. So Ice Howlet making his first show of the stream today. A very good unit. Let's see if his, magical slashing type damage can penetrate this Glassy, who's been very hard to kill. She walks forward and lands a stun on Zazan. Now, Zazan probably wasn't going to get to do much anyway with his positioning and the way turn order was working out. You can see he's very far down on the turn list, even standing there stunned, and now he's very far down on the ground as he's dead, but he did tank 2 attacks from the enemy, and is that enough? A2's going to come forward with Destructive Spiral, land a lot of damage onto Glassy. Valade's going to look to do some of that sick healing that he's been doing all night. There's the Curata, and Glassy back up to about 85-90% health. Now she's got 2 targets to choose from. She's going to go triple piercer onto the Howlet. He's still standing pretty at 9600 HP, and he's got a little bit of an AoE attack lined up if he wants it. Instead, he's going to go for the diffusion just onto Glassy, healing himself a bit, setting up A2 for what could be a huge AoE attack. Rend and mend. Glassy goes down, and no mending. There was no mending needed right there, so it's really just rend. And now, as has been the case so many times tonight, we see young King Elda in sort of a 2v1. It is technically still a 2v2. Elda has his Valade behind him, and he drops 9,000 damage onto the Howlet. That's going to help out a lot, but Howlet, being that mage, still has so much AP left in his bag, and is going to get to counterattack with his Limit Break magic art. Here it is, puts up his mage circles, cuts the mage circle in half, flicks his hair back, 2168, then he steps forward just to burn some CT. Because why not? Take one step forward. Just put yourself further down that CT list. Valade comes through, full life comes out. This one misses. Okay, will that bite them? The rare full life whiff coming out right there. And now it's young King Elda's turn. 62 AP, he's going to generate more by just poking Howlet dead to death. So Howlet's out of here, and now it's A2 versus 2. Here we go. Here comes the big slash. It does nice damage, but once again, Valade has been tanky enough with King Elda that he's they just weather whatever the one enemy coming through to do to them. They just weather it, then he heals everybody up, and it's looking like maybe a repeat of that again, as A2 doesn't seem to have the damage to cut them down completely. Lion's Drain comes out from Elda, a little bit of damage, and he fully heals himself. Well, not fully, he's back to 95%. A2, what do you got? It needs to be a lot. She's going to go with the Limit Break. So she's going to try to bust out her, hardest hitting move right here, the one with the cutscene. It does decent damage, immobilizing Valade. Okay, so that's something. Sucked them in together. What's King Elda going to do on the backside? He's still got 48 AP. She's going to reflex. So if there was hope for this A2, the hope might lie in slow cast times from Valade, which you're not going to get, and reflex. Now, she can kill him. If she can get, there's Rend and Mend, so Valade goes down. Now, there's no one to mend because the mending part of Rend and Mend is for an ally. So it's a 1v1 A2 versus young King Elda. The thing here, A2's out of AP. So she's going to have to just auto attack him. She's going to hit him for 1920, generating herself back up to 14 AP. Elda's out of AP, so he's going to just have to auto attack her, 761. She's the better auto attacker, but now what can they do for... Oh, this is the last attack of the match. Dismantle's going to come through. That's enough. I didn't even notice turns. Dismantle is the very last move, and A2 will win the 1v1 in a handshake. She says, "Sir, how dare you?" And she slaps him across the face, and he says, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I yield." Steps back, and A2 with the win. GG. And Koryu and Skiz, thank you both for those subs. 35 months for Koryu, 18 months for Skiz. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you for those Amazon Prime and Tier 1 subscriptions. Let's go to the next fight. All right, we are loading in to the next match. It's a Shoeback versus Devil Boy. This one is well underway at this point. We had a little bit of a DC on this one earlier, so I wanted to jump back into it. We see Etra on the ground dead. We've seen that from her once today already, but her team has been able to carry her pretty far into the tournament. This is a quarterfinal match in the losers bracket. So both of these players have already scored a lot of points in terms of like advancing to the final top 8. And now we'll see if Etra's striking sisters right here, Perrine and Ketone, can put enough damage across this dark team to advance Etra once again. There's a big hit right there from Perrine onto the whole squad, although the shield from Halloween Lucia really tanked that pretty well, and Ketone's going to look to follow that up. Now, can she do enough damage where her follow-up attack is like killing people? Let's see. So there's the damage. Here's her follow-up attack. Not enough to kill Vivi, not enough to kill the tank, and Leela hangs on, Vivi hangs on, and it's a 3v2. Okay, Vivi's in there. He's going to go flare onto the Perrine. It kills her. Big damage right there from the Vivi with the flare. That's nice to see from the little guy. And now Halloween Lucia with 104 AP, 9.6k HP is going to drop the Arcane Assimilation. It's real spooky. It's a lot of magic damage. How will Ketone respond? By going to about 50% HP, get follow-up attacked, and she's hanging on by a thread. Now, 16 AP. She can do her cheap move, I believe. I think it is like 14 or 15. Stinger, there it is, 2681 with the follow-up attack, but she still can't kill the tank. And now she's in a 1v3 and completely out of AP. Okay, Vivi channeling a spell. It's going to be Leela's turn next. She's probably going to go with like some kind of blade. No, she goes taunting spell, so she's just spamming that. Darkra comes out from Vivi. Ketone goes down. That's it. GG. The dark team defeats the Etra team for the win. All right, let's go on to our next match. Okay, here we go. This is the losers bracket semifinals. So winner of this gets to play numero 80 for a chance to go back up to the winner's bracket. Loser's out, but loser will be out in about, what, 4th place? So a nice finish for both of these teams. We're going to see the dark Vivi Halloween Lucia team right here again. This team has looked good. It's been the one team that's been able to deal with some of these ice teams, some of these Valet teams that we've seen. Here, they're going to get to take on another Zazan. Now, I don't know if it's the size of this map or what it is, but Zazan has not been as effective as I think a lot of people have expected him to be. He hasn't gotten anything really done. No clutch steel hearts, no damage. Oftentimes when you see him, he'll have like one fight where he kind of pops off and does a surprising amount of damage. Like he might hit somebody for like 6-7k and you're like, what is this? Here he's been kind of limited to a buffer. You see right there, he drops the Keen Blade buff on his group, again trying to get them enough turns to get all their buffs set up. One thing that we see here that we have not seen, at least not seen very much in many of these fights, is the players started in opposite corners. We've seen a lot of teams just starting directly across from each other, giving them about 2 turns to buff, and then we're into the fight. Here, this Leela is pretty extended with her mages kind of far behind her. So we'll see. There's the protect buff coming out from Vivi, so that'll be effective against 2 out of the 3 opponents that Dervis is running. Zazan runs forward. He had nothing to do right there, so he does preserve some CT, but I don't know that he's going to lap anybody. He's just, with that, that R rating, he's just a bit too slow at 20 cost. Okay, counterpoint stance. There's Ice Howlet getting himself fully involved. Zazan is yet to sneak back onto the turn order screen. We'll see. There he is at the bottom. I really would like to see him do something cool tonight. We'll see if Dervis can be the one to pull that off. Instead, Devil Boy's going to get the burst. Oh, that's big. That's big. That's Berserk on the mage. So, Ice, yeah, that's Ice Asterisk. Or yes, he gets berserked. So you're not going to see a ton of like great spells from him. He's going to be an auto attacker. Howlet coming out. I said Asterisk, Ice Howlet. Ice Asterisk is new thing, but he still hits pretty hard. That was decent auto attack damage from him. Now it's Vivi's turn. He's got a berserked guy to target right here. Double Darker comes out. Now berserk, one of those status effects that does not get turned off by being attacked from your enemy. So he's going to just deal with it. There's Murderous Blade coming out. That's what I'm talking about from Zazan. That was 4,600 damage. It was almost enough to kill Leela. So, okay, Zazan got to do something. Toad's Curse comes out. It does full damage, like 12,000 damage. Turns him into a frog, but it turns him into a dead frog. And now it's a 2v3. It's a 2v2 now because A2 just killed Leela. And here's your matchup. You have Vivi, Halloween Lucia versus Zazan A2. Now, A2, I would say, is the highest tier unit of anyone left alive, but Zazan is definitely also the lowest tier unit of anybody left alive, with Lucia and Vivi being both pretty strong. So can A2, who is now fighting by herself, kill both of them? This time she does not have to deal with somebody healing them back up after she does damage. So as long as she can like sustain, get a couple reflexes, something like that, she's gonna have a chance. Here comes her limit break. It will kill Vivi. Now, does he have re-raise? Yes, he does. So Vivi will come back to life, but now he's truly only one person instead of, Vivi and then Vivi again after he comes back to life. He's going to go with Doomsday. So he's going to bring out his limit break right here. Going to pull the meteor out of the sky, drop it on A2's head. She's got that physical shield, but it's not going to help. And she is stunned. That is gonna hurt. So she'll miss her next turn after Lucia drops her, oh man, back-to-back limit breaks on a stunned target. This is brutal for A2. It's not looking good. 4,100 damage. The follow-up attack, 1,325. Now, she doesn't take action or move, so it preserves enough CT that she'll go right after Vivi. But does he have instant casting time on? Like, is he gonna start channeling a spell? Nope. Flare, he goes 0 cast time flare with the re-raise remove. A2 goes down, and the Dark team picks up the win. The Halloween Lucia Vivi squad looking pretty strong. Leela did just enough tanking to make that happen. So that's it for that. Dark team moves on to fight numero 80, and we will go watch that fight right now. Okay, here we go. Losers bracket final. We get to see, I wish when I flexed, my arms looked like Vlade standing at rest. Like Vlade just standing there puts all of us to shame with those guns that he's rocking. And I gotta say, I feel like he's not putting him to the greatest use, being a, buffing support type character. I mean, I feel like Vlade should have been a monk. At least, like, if Vlade had been a monk, Monk would not have been one of the worst jobs in this game on release. Like, it would have been OP, because there's no way you put this dude as a monk and make that class bad. Maybe that's why they didn't make him a monk. I don't know, but that's some, good, thoughtful shoutcasting right there. Meanwhile, Vlade and his ice ladies right here, as we get to see Winter Ravis, who I'm very happy is making a deep run tonight, and A2 facing off against the Dark team again. So we're faced with sort of a similar setup as we had last time. Obviously, the teammates are different for the ice team. It's not Ice Ibarra, the man version, whose name is not Ibarra. It said it's Winter Ravis. I personally just love the way Winter Ravis looks. I think of all the Winter units, she is one of the better designed ones. The art team for War of the Visions definitely carries really hard. And so there you go. I'd say her design's really cool. So she gets bells online for herself. Not going to have to worry about any AP problems. Winter Vlade, or not Winter Vlade, regular Vlade, who has his guns out in the winter or summer, will get another buff up for his team. And now it's Halloween Lucia's turn. 9,600 HP for her. 142 AP. She's going to get her Protect online, her damage buff. She's ready to rock. Leela also ready to rock, moves forward, doesn't do anything. She's already cast all the buffs she's going to cast. She's got haste on. And A2 should be in range to open up the damage right here on little Leela at least. Rend and Mend comes out, so there's the rending half of it. And then there's some mending on the other side. Although there was nothing to mend there, a little band-aid on a not hurt person, it makes them feel better. Just ask kids, you got a little boo-boo, put a band-aid on that thing and you feel a lot better. Anyway, Winter Ravis' turn next. 9,997 HP. She drops a Taunting Blade for big damage, kills Leela, and just like that, it's a 2v3, but Leela is the dead one for the Dark team, and if anybody was going to go down for them, hey, the tank ate 2 attacks and died. She kind of just did her job. Okay, it's Halloween Lucia's turn next. Could we see some status effects or something like that? Sudden End comes out. No status effects online, but good damage across the team. Both the carries for the Ice team down to about 50%. Here's the deal. Destructive Spiral comes out, so big damage right there. Vivi self-heals it, and A2 self-heals. Then A2's going to lap with the haste. So she's about to chain with herself, and she's going to use her limit break. So big numbers right here. Big numbers. Does Vivi's re-raise get popped? Both units are slowed. Vivi dies. That'll unslow him and unimmobilize him as he dies and re-raises. But it sets Winter Ravis up for the ultimate wombo combo. Can she hit both of them with another attack and just end this thing? Preemptive counter. Oh my gosh. Preemptive counterattack comes out and takes her to like 305 HP, 305. Vivi was like, you think you've got me, but you've activated my trap card. And she just steps on the trap, shrugs it off. Big sword to the head. You're dead. GG. Nice fight right there. It was really close. That was, it looks like 3-0 at the end of that thing. That preemptive counterattack nearly turned that whole fight around. Good stuff. The Ice team, put up here. Ice team. Numero 80, sliding up here to fight Sinji in the grand finals. This will be a rematch of the winners bracket semifinals. Okay, now for our grand finals, it is a double elimination. So Sinji would have to lose twice to Numero 80 to get bounced. Here's your matchup. It looks like Ice versus Ice. Sinji showing A2, Numero 80 showing, big muscles himself, Valade. Let's see how this plays out. Are both players playing A2? Of course they are, but we see a Grifford for Sinji. So not going for that like great sword synergy that you get with Ravis. Instead, leaning into what I think is a more powerful character in Grifford than Winter Ravis is. So I think it's a smart play right here from Sinji, and this is probably why he's made such a deep run. One of the reasons we did the cost restriction of 220 we did tonight was to avoid just a whole bunch of Axe teams running things over, as I had heard that was something that had been happening in other tournaments. So let's see if Grifford can make good on that essentially Axe domination that we've been told about, or if Valade, well Valade's going to win this match. One way or another, the Valade A2 combo will be the king of this elemental limited combo. I feel like we haven't even seen several of the elements tonight. I mean, you could play Ice, Earth, Water, or Dark. We have seen less Earth than I thought. I thought Halloween, Lucio would have been more prominent tonight, but we haven't really seen much of him. We saw him early, he got ran out, and it's been the Ice teams and then the Dark, Halloween, Lucia, Vivi teams that have really stepped up and done a lot of work tonight. So we got a little bit of a delay here from Numero 80 team. Don't know if we have a bit of a DC or what. Nope, we don't. He's just healing no one. So, okay, we do have some kind of delay here. I don't know if it's a spectator bug. I don't know if the finals we're going to get to watch a bunch of like weird nothings happen. But sometimes when somebody gets DC'd, you end up in the AI just doing crazy stuff that didn't really happen. So a little bit of a spectator bug right there. It's A2's turn next. Let's see. She's going to go Destructive Spiral. So lands a Destructive Spiral from all the way across the map, then warps to face the enemy. She's like, look, she just did a full-on, what's an anime we could make a comparison to right here? She like Goku from Dragon Ball Z, like put his fingers to his forehead, warped across the world, punched somebody in the face, warped back across the world. Now she's there. I don't know. I'm trying to fill this time right here as the spectator has completely bugged out. So I don't know. Valade's going to do something. Hopefully the spectator bugs out to the point where Valade kills the whole enemy team with like a meteor or something. That would be sweet. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm just going to sit here and just fill time, I suppose. He's going to heal nobody. So Valade he healed himself, but he was already at full HP. That's an interesting flex. So now it's Winter Ravi, 6,900 HP left for her, but who knows what she's going to be doing. It looks like they're hiding behind a wall, but A2 has already shown that she disregards that. And this new wave of spectator bugs is always something. As chat is criticizing me for already using air conditioning, it was 70 degrees here today, chat. 70 degrees. And not only was it 70 degrees, it is, well, when you're in a room with a computer turned on, running streaming software, and a bunch of monitors, and the doors close, it gets hot. There's Tawny Blade from Winter Ravi's. She warps across the map. So we're going to be doing some warping here. No one's going to walk anywhere. This map, the new rule is you can't walk. You just got to warp. So Grifford, I know you got a big axe and it's probably heavy, but you got to jump somewhere and then like full-on teleport jutsu yourself to somewhere on this map. Emma, hello. Luke, nice to see ya. Everybody in chat, thanks for chilling. This is the finals of the tournament, and we don't even know what's happening. So, Grifford, there's his warp. He warps right next to Winter Ravi's and hits somebody for some damage. I was not even looking. Too much of a delay. I can't, like, pay attention to nothing for so long. Here we go. Valade's turn. Imagine he's going to heal, but he might heal nobody. Or what we're seeing right now, I wouldn't be surprised. So earlier, we saw Valade from this position cast Cura right here. I bet you what he actually does is he moved here earlier and Cura'd, healing them both up, and then more stuff happened. So it's still in the 40s where you are, Luke. We've had some of that. No, he just does the same thing he did earlier. So he's going to just move forward and do a Cura anyway. Now it's A2's turn. Yeah, if you're close your door and your computer's like cranking out those, putting that heat out in the room, it gets hot. We actually installed a little mini split air conditioner in this room because this used to happen in my old house all the time. Yeah, especially if you're streaming. Streamlabs or something like that, just eat your computer up. Well, I don't know. Hey, if anybody in chat knows who wins this, I'd be happy to just announce that and end our suffering right here. A brutal way for an otherwise almost flawless technical difficulty day to end. Okay, so that's it. I see some GGs in chat. Let's see who won. If it was Sinji, that's the tournament. It's over. If it was not Sinji, I think it was Sinji. So we see the congrats come out. Sinji is given the win, and that's the tournament. So GG, Sinji is your winner of the Kiwi Cup Week 2 tournament. A little bit of an anticlimactic ending right there as, spectator bug. But Ice won. We do know Valade A2 won because Valade A2 is the only thing left alive. Anyway, that's the tournament. So next week, guys, next Friday, show up. We're going to have the Kiwi Cup round 3. Plenty of points on the table if you want to make that top 8 draft still available. Make sure to join my Discord, link in the description if you want to join. I'll get the rules posted and the sign up link earlier this week than I did this last week because I wasn't even sure I could do this tonight until about yesterday. So, it gets crazy this time of year with school. It is what it is. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.